Welcome to News9. Rahul Gandhi is about to hold a press conference. Mr. Gandhi has returned from his visit to United Kingdom. Rahul Gandhi went to Parliament today. He in fact met the Lok Sabha Speaker Om Saini. Sources confirmed to News9 that he sought time from the Lok Sabha Speaker so that he can speak in the Parliament. When journalists accosted him in the front porch of the Parliament, Rahul Gandhi said that if he wants to speak, he would first try to speak inside the Parliament. On this, I am joined by my colleague Brijesh Pandey. Brijesh, what do you expect Rahul Gandhi to say in a press conference which is being organized at All India Congress Committee headquarters today? And with the charge on Rahul Gandhi is that he should be speaking inside the Parliament. And in fact, if you look at it legally or even technically, Rahul Gandhi is far safer inside the Parliament than outside, because anything you say on the floor of the House cannot be taken to the court.
Well, I think, Rahul Gandhi is not worried about the legal implications of what he says or what he doesn't. His stature protects him from that. But other than that, what I would say is that if you look at the social media tweets of AICC and a couple of other senior leaders, what is emerging very clear is that they are positioning Rahul Gandhi. There's this photo of lion, and in front of that Rahul Gandhi is coming. And there was a tweet by AICC which says, Anurag and Smriti, be aware. Hitting it at Anurag Thakur and Smriti Irani, who have been taking pot shots at Rahul Gandhi about his absence, about the kind of comment he has made. I think what he's trying to do is that he would like to speak first inside the Parliament, but the Parliament has been adjourned. And the Congress is saying that this is for the first time what is happening is that the government in question, the government of the day, is not allowing House to function. So how can he speak? So I think he's ticking the boxes by first going to Parliament, then going to meet Om Birla, who is the Speaker of the Lok Sabha, and after that he's going to address this press conference. And I think he's going to reply to all the barrage of questions which has been hurled at him by the BJP, all the senior ministers of BJP. And I think his team has also realized that they have allowed this narrative of Rahul Gandhi insulting India abroad. If they allow it to go unchecked far too long, this will have a serious repercussion on his narrative politics, and this is the reason why I think he would want to dispel this, make it clear once and for all.
I want to make it clear to the viewers that the Rahul Gandhi will be holding his first press conference after completing Bharat Jodo Yatra. So that is why is our background Rahul Gandhi Live. And Rahul Gandhi Live, when we say, is because that he is going to speak in next 5 minutes at All India Congress Committee headquarters. And this is the first time he's speaking after coming back from his Cambridge tour. And Rahul Gandhi in Cambridge had categorically said things about the government of India. Now, there were multiple legal views about it. A lot of people who are associated with Bharatiya Janata Party and lawyers said that, this can come under the sedition law, because outside you can criticize the work of the previous government, but you cannot criticize the government of the day which is elected. Now, that is the legal side. The larger issue is that the government has turned it around. They were waiting for Rahul Gandhi to make a mistake perhaps, and I think Brijesh is the best one to take it through, because Adani-Ambani controversy is not new, it was old. But somehow it allowed Bharatiya Janata Party to become aggressive. Field ministers every day at 9:30 a.m. in morning. Yesterday it was
Smriti
Irani. Today it was Kiran Rijiju. So what was the mistake, and what was the I would say space or the chink in the armor which BJP was looking for?
See, ever since the Hindenburg report came out and there was a washout of shares of Adani Group, the Congress has been very belligerent. They thought that the moment has come where they have been talking about these cases, but they have not been, that much accepted by people, public at large. And this is the reason they thought their time has come. And there was a very aggressive attack by the Congress party, attacking Prime Minister Narendra Modi, questioning him about his alleged links with Adani Group, how the government is favoring. All kind of uncomfortable questions were put forward, and the government, or say the party, was a bit on the back foot. So, but I think, the Prime Minister or the top leaders didn't join issue with him. They waited for their turn. And I think the turn was provided when Rahul Gandhi was in Cambridge and he spoke about, the idea of India, about how, people didn't allow him, the host of the program with his link. All of that came under question. And he literally played into BJP's hand in the sense that the BJP very smartly turned it to their triple level PhD field, which is the field of nationalism. Yeah. And that second onwards, the BJP has been on an offensive.
The surprise part is that this was organized by someone who was extremely close to Rajiv Gandhi, Sam Pitroda. Sam Pitroda was the person who was asked by Rajiv Gandhi to come to India. And Sam Pitroda, at that point of time, with Rajiv Desai and other people, was part of the Chicago Forum, which actually worked for Rajiv Gandhi to create sort of a modern outlook in governance and new technologies, which subsequently came to be part of India's lifestyle, which is like C dot, which created the base for telecom revolution. But Sam Pitroda organized these trips, and Sam Pitroda played a crucial part in galvanizing the left-leaning intellectuals in the United States and UK to actually come and listen to Rahul Gandhi, because the biggest feat of Modi, apart from his success domestically, is that he's created a larger global audience for himself. He has created such powerful overseas chapters that he ends up meeting 5 to 10,000 Indians wherever he goes, whether he's in Washington, Chicago, Shanghai, because Indian diaspora is a very strong, prosperous diaspora. It is in this context, coming back to this whole debate, why Rahul Gandhi wants to do press conference. I think Rahul Gandhi wants to clear certain issues, because BJP, as Brajesh said very cleverly, has been able to create the impression that Rahul Gandhi did not criticize the government of the day, but the country. And Rahul Gandhi was not interested in criticizing BJP, but making fun of the people of India. And this impression has been reinforced by daily press conferences, daily utterances, daily tweets of top BJP politicians like Piyush Goyal, Rajnath Singh, Smriti Irani, Kiran Rijiju, linking one's own pride with nation. Now, I think that's something which BJP has milked very well, but the question is, they are able to do it successively every time, and Rahul Gandhi, despite being on offensive, end up defending himself. Is it because of the fact that he did not pursue the goals of Bharat Jodo Yatra, which gave him a lot of dividends?
I would say, Kartikeya, that you have to also understand that in politics, barring miracles, or as in life, barring miracles, you have to actually work on a particular issue for a longer duration of time for it to bear fruit for you. The BJP has been working on a nationalistic pitch for decades. And they are very aware of its limitation, but they're also very aware of the kind of bonanza it can unlock for them politically. And that is the reason why any utterances of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, any utterances of all the top BJP leaders and ministers, they don't say just for the heck of saying. They know that there's a larger audience which is waiting for them, which is listening to all these words as gospel's truth and understands and further identify itself with the BJP. Now, with the case of Congress, anything for which you have to explain to the people that that your intention was this, but what you said was not exactly what is being interpreted by the BJP or the government. I think it is all a classic case of lost in translation. And until and unless the Congress party plugs this major communication deficit, I don't think that they are going to be one up as far as the BJP is concerned.
Okay, I think today's press conference is going to settle the debate for some time, because Bharatiya Janata Party also realized that after 1 week of no show in Parliament, and after countering the Ambani-Adani charge, they would also like to go back to the business. Do you agree that they would be interested in running the Parliament next week?
I don't think so. Because you have to also understand that they might want to bury the hatchet, but will the Congress be willing to do it? The Congress every single day walks into the Parliament. They are raising the question of Adani. They are questioning Prime Minister's link with it. And if the BJP or the government, who they feel that they have an advantage over the Congress right now, if they surrender that advantage, the Congress is very clear of what they want to do. The opposition is very clear what they want to do. The use of the ED, the misuse of the ED, as opposition is alleging, the misuse of the CBI, all these factors is something which the opposition party is not going to let go. So you have to be very clear on that. And I think until and unless an agreement reaches out between the two sides that, let's allow the House to function, or like, you walk back like cede an inch and we will also accommodate. Barring that scenario, I don't think the BJP will be willing to walk away from this.
The surprising part is people think that the JPC can be announced very easily. You would be surprised to know that every JPC announcement has a history of 5 to 6 washout sessions. Even the JPC on 2G, which people would recall because it's just 9 years or 10 years old, was allowed to go through the motions of parliament and became joint parliamentary committee. There were 6 washout sessions. BJP did not allow, I think, 4 to 6 sessions to function.
4 to 6 sessions, and the famous Arun Jaitley's remark.
Yes, absolutely, because if the government has its way, the opposition must have its say. So, but in that point of time, I would say the opposition had both its say and the way. UPA neither had the say nor could have the way, because at that point of time, the perception of corruption became very, very strong. So, larger point here is that the Congress party wants to take that sheen away from Prime Minister Narendra Modi on the issue of corruption. Because BJP understands one thing, that the issue of corruption makes Congress vulnerable. And Congress knows that till Prime Minister rides that horse on which he says that he's a corruption destroyer, there is no way they can actually beat Bharatiya Janata Party. So every time when Lok Sabha election comes, corruption as an issue starts to manifest. Now in this case, it's not about Prime Minister, it's about facilitating a rise of an industrialist. So the question is, how much will that have an impact on electorate? Is it an out there policy, or is it going to have an impact on the electorate?
Well, I don't think it's going to have much impact on the electorate. I know I'll be ridiculed for saying this, or being attributed adjectives and all, but the reality on the ground is, Kartikeya, that you first deserve, then desire. I think the biggest challenge for the Congress right now is not whether they can portray Prime Minister Narendra Modi as corrupt or not, or whether Adani is corrupt or not, or whatever, whether there is an allegiance between the two, who's behind the rise of who and all. I think the biggest challenge for the Congress is to ensure to get its house in order, to win elections. And once you see, I mean, if you win 2 states elections, 2 state elections, then you see the spring in the step and the confidence in the voice. When you start speaking, then it looks like as if you can say no wrong, and you can do no wrong. This is exactly what the BJP is doing. There are a lot of chatters which comes in, all is not well between Prime Minister and Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, or this or that. Then bam, BJP wins another 2 states. All the controversies are put to rest. Now you keep on winning, and that is how you can take the entire conversation to another level. The Congress is not doing that. So people, I mean, if you ask them what is the only test of whether people are accepting or listening to you or not, the only test in democracy is by winning elections. So the Congress is not winning elections. Congress, important and influential people are leaving Congress who could, otherwise fashion a turnaround or script a turnaround. So Congress is in a mess, and I think until they get their house in order, start winning elections, then if there's these kind of things, then that would have a bearing.
Rahul Gandhi has his task cut out. Congress has an election in Karnataka, and Congress will have elections in 3 states. Do you think these states will be fighting elections on a Adani issue? Because I think the problems of Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan are very different. So just hear me out. These are issues, and these are states which have their own specific political color. So at this point of time, do you feel that Congress runs a chance of making an issue like that peak way before the election?
I don't think that is going to have any bearing. In the state of Karnataka, there are different issues. I think the OPS issue, or what Priyanka Gandhi at that point of said 2,000 or 5,000 to every woman, that issues will find more resonance. In Himachal, the biggest issue was the OPS issue. In the state of Uttar Pradesh, if you remember, Kartikeya, we discussed the entire thing. The OPC had far more resonance on the ground than many issues put together. I think the Ambani-Adani narrative might find some traction in the national discourse, which is in 2024 Lok Sabha election. But even at that time, it will only find resonance or traction when the Congress has been able to win Karnataka, is able to win Madhya Pradesh, and is able to retain Chhattisgarh. So that is, then as I said, you win 2 states, you retain 1 state, then there's a completely different person out there. And I think then what Congress will say will have some sort of bearing. But I think they still will have to walk a lot before they are actually able to, let this stigma of the Prime Minister facilitating corrupt, the Prime Minister facilitating the rise and rise of these industrial houses and all. I think that narration, for that to stick to the Prime Minister, will take a lot of homework and a lot of effort by the Congress party.
You know, I don't know what sort of defense Mr. Gandhi is going to put up, because ultimately he'll end up reiterating and defending those issues. So the larger point here would be that the Rahul Gandhi, instead of being offensive, which he was in Bharat Jodo Yatra, today Rahul Gandhi will be on a defensive note. Rahul Gandhi will have to first defend himself, the reason why he went there, why he said it, why he chose a Western country, and that too a pre-colonial master at a particular juncture of time, to say so. And then he will be asking questions to Bharatiya Janata Party. So I think Rahul Gandhi's press conference will have to take or address multiple issues, and then one has to wait and see whether he takes questions or not. Though Mr. Gandhi had been taking questions, he has been holding press conferences every 15 to 20th day, there has been no doubt. I think every politician in opposition does. I think Prime Minister's rapid fire interviews ended.
In fact, if you remember, Kartikeya, when he was doing this yatra in
Gujarat
Uttar Pradesh,
Yatra.
no, in Uttar Pradesh. So when he had this, and then he came and did a speech in Delhi where he said "Khoon se sane haath," which was lost in translation. One thing you must give credit to Rahul Gandhi where it is due is, which is that when people said that, oh no, you are not giving us interviews, he said, like, boss, I've held at least 50 press conferences, and every single reporter who was present there, be it from a small media channel or a big media channel or big media house, if they asked me a question, I replied to them. So if you want me to give you a one-on-one interview, that might not be possible, but nobody can accuse me of shying away from questions being put forth to you. Basically, this was a jibe at Prime Minister not giving a press conference in the last 9 years or so.
Absolutely. But I would also say that Rahul Gandhi's challenge is not that of whether he speaks to the media a lot or whether he speaks to the media less. I think Rahul Gandhi's challenge is to build himself as a tall leader who is considered as a Prime Minister candidate. The problem today is that Rahul Gandhi quit as the president of the Congress party, and then Rahul Gandhi did not portray himself in 2014 as a Prime Minister candidate. Congress very categorically said that we are fighting an election as an organization against an individual, and that was articulated by then Rural Development Minister Jairam Ramesh, and he very categorically said that the parties fight elections and then they elect a Prime Minister. So at that point of time, they were not really exposing Rahul Gandhi. And the second time when Rahul Gandhi was exposed as a Prime Minister candidate, they had actually done the homework for a new coalition, and the results were disastrous. From 44, Congress could barely scratch the 50, and Bharatiya Janata Party from simple majority actually crossed the number of 300, which could only be done by Nehru, Indira Gandhi and Rajiv Gandhi. So he became the 4th Prime Minister in the memory of the country to scrape through that 300 mark. Now coming back to the issue of Rahul Gandhi, whether it's a question of defying a law, whether it was an unfruitful debate, or whether Rahul Gandhi provided an opportunity to Bharatiya Janata Party to actually link the debate to its strongest pitch, which is the pitch of nationalism, it's all debatable. But I would say that what is happening is that after Bharat Jodo Yatra, in which Rahul Gandhi was asking questions to Prime Minister, 157 days Rahul Gandhi was continuously asking questions to the Prime Minister. He was not fielding questions from Bharatiya Janata Party. He could decide the topic and take the questions he liked, and he could ignore the questions which he didn't like, and he did it, and it became acceptable because he was actually interacting with the press, and not only the national press. He actually interacted with the entire vernacular press because they were given the preference. So after that circle, which ended spectacularly and worked very well for Congress, now Rahul Gandhi is back in Delhi defending the Congress party, and the issue is slightly precarious in the sense that there's a deadlock in the parliament, and the whole debate is Rahul Gandhi should apologize. Congress party is saying that government of the day must announce a joint parliamentary committee. So it's a slanging match between a Mafi and a Samiti. So whether Mafi happens or Samiti is won is anyone's guess. I think neither the Mafi will happen nor Samiti will come into existence. So no apology and no committee. but the consequence would be borne by the Indian taxpayer, Indian electorate, because we fund the parliament. Number of bills are stuck. So what will happen? We will end up having no debate in the parliament. There will be a day when all the political parties will come after they have exhausted 80% of the time, and they would say, okay boss, let's pass the bill in next 2 days. So we'll find parliament sitting from 11 o'clock in morning till 11 o'clock at night, reporters standing at the front gate of the parliament to Vijay Chowk, and they would be passing one bill after another in rapid fire succession. So whether without debate, without nuances, the bills will become law. And I think that's the biggest casualty of democracy. So neither you have a debate or a heated debate or a debate in terms of what the law should be, but they will get passed, and those boxes will be ticked that in this session of parliament, out of 44 bills, we were able to clear 41 bills. Everyone will go home happy. You know, it's like that P. Sainath's book. Everyone loves a good drought. So, you know, everyone loves a disturbed parliament, because neither it gives them rating, nor it creates a, it creates a pitched polarized debate. And if you see, that's the most ironic part, Brijesh, that it's been years that you had a tremendously articulated, beautifully articulated debate in parliament between two political parties. Because now when there is a debate, only quorum needs to be filled.
Yep.
So you don't have people listening to each other. You don't have full attendance. You have one speaker speaking through the entire empty space of the house with the minimum quorum, and the bill is passed.
Well, yes, and I think every party is guilty of it. During the UPA tenure, it was the BJP which was vociferously asking for a joint JPC in the 2G scam case, in the Colgate scam, and they ensured that the parliament doesn't function till they get what they wanted. And at times it's a very a strange thing to comment on, or it's a kind of dichotomy which you cannot actually analyze as to what is right and what is wrong. I mean, is allowing parliament to function where the government is not responsive enough to constitute a JPC when you have a big scam reported? If you would have allowed the house to function, wouldn't you be abdicating your responsibility as an opposition party? And what is happening today? So it's a very complex thing. Whether stalling the parliament to ensure JPC also doesn't comes within the remit of the lawmakers or remit of these parliamentarians. So I think it's a very interesting cocktail of how exactly where you are positioned, which kind of decides what the situation would be. And I think the Congress is definitely trying to follow the BJP, but the numbers aren't that much, which the BJP had during the UPA 1 or the UPA 2. The Congress is right now it's at its lowest best, and I think the lack of number is also reflecting on the confidence of the Congress party.
So you are saying the lack of numbers are reflecting at the confidence of the Congress party, but it's surprising that the press conference itself is half an hour late. I think it just goes on to show that the preparation which you required for a press conference is not there. You announce a press conference 3 hours ago, making everyone wait that the press conference is going to take place at 3 p.m. It is like saying, भाई press conference होगी 3 बजे, आप सब लोग security check के लिए 2:30 बजे तक आ जाइए, and then there is no press conference. It means that the preparation of Mr. Gandhi is taking place at the last minute. Where does it happen in the world that a senior leader like this decides a press conference, and then you have everyone sitting packed like sardines inside a place waiting for him to come, and who knows, he's making notes in the antechamber.
Well, Karthikeya, I wouldn't be that harsh on Rahul Gandhi, because majority of the time
I hate waiting for press conferences.
No, that's absolutely, you made it more than obvious. But I'm saying that whenever we have seen very senior leaders, whenever they come, usually the press conference is almost like 15-20 minutes here and there. So I won't call his getting 30 minutes late as somebody who's making the last minute preparation. I think he has been briefed of what, and only after a proper briefing and consultation.
So this is even beating like the Indian Standard Time.
You can say that. I agree. I mean, if there are politicians who are on the dot, but you know, majority of the times what happens is that whenever a press conference is announced or whenever a meeting is announced, you have always seen that how, you know, in the last minute there's always a 10-15 minutes to 30 minutes delay.
I think you are very lenient with Rahul Gandhi.
No, I mean, it's
10
not a
to
question of
30
being,
minutes.
no, it's not a question of being lenient to Rahul Gandhi, because I've seen, you know, most of the ministers and also all, they come because they have a very packed schedule. So like, you know, if we, like most of the time you get called for non-camera, I mean, unofficial briefings and all. And the minister was supposed to come at 2 o'clock, ends up at 2:45, rushing into and apologizing. See, I'm sorry, I got stuck at this particular meeting and all. So, I mean, it happens. Ideally, you should do it on a dot, but I think you have to give Rahul Gandhi credit for the fact that he has never dodged a question from the media, and it has never been that, like, you know, that he has not addressed press conferences or not. That credit you have to give to Rahul Gandhi.
No, I think a lot of credit can be given to Rahul Gandhi. Even he also gets the credit of landing Congress party, you know, with double-digit numbers in 2019 elections. But that's besides the point. The larger issue is that Rahul Gandhi is supposed to address a press conference. The time was at 3 p.m. It's 3:30, and the press conference has not started. I'm not saying that the Congress party is getting goosebumps and they're having second thoughts whether the press conference should take place or not. But the fact is that the press conference was supposed to start at 3 p.m. The House has been adjourned. House has been adjourned. House has been adjourned. It's not as if he's caught in Lok Sabha, that he has some pending work with the legislative branch.
I think he's not that hard pressed for time as we are. This is the reason I wanted. Everybody wants to start on time, but I think it's going to start in some time from now, and it's very interesting. It's going to be a politically very interesting press conference because it will be an interesting to see. It will be very interesting to see whether the Congress comes up or the Rahul Gandhi comes up with a very solid rebuttal to the kind of charges, the barrage of charges and apologize demand from all the top ministers of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's cabinet, you know, Smriti Irani, Prahlad Joshi, Rajnath Singh, Piyush Goyal, you name it, you have it.
At least they start on time, 9:30 every day.
See, I'll try my level best to convey your disappointment to the.
No, I understand because we have friends. Who cover Bharatiya Janata Party and Congress also. I know the biggest the grouse they have is that, you know, why do they call it at 9:30 a.m. in morning? Why is this press conference you know, taking place such
because
early?
There's also
people
a time
who live
when
in Noida will have to travel 1 hour to Delhi.
You also have to understand that Karthike, at 9:25 you have to do it because then you have to go to Parliament. You can't be late to the Parliament. That is the reason why they do it well in advance for them to be ready and in time to make sure that they don't reach Parliament late, because the Prime Minister reaches on time, and come what may, you have to reach before him. So until unless you have a very heavy engagement or an engagement government wise, that's the reason why they start early, they end early, because they know that they can't be late.
Tell me one thing, Brijesh, you know, Rahul Gandhi after this Lok Sabha election is going to focus on Karnataka. He is going to Belagavi. Why has he chosen a sensitive place like Belagavi? The language riots between Maharashtra and Karnataka has taken place in Belagavi. Belagavi is one place which is diverse and multiple language speaking. So is there a politics behind it, Belagavi?
See, honestly speaking, I don't know why exactly has he chosen Belagavi, but I know one thing for sure is that
it's like you start from Kannur in Kerala.
Yeah, you start from Kannur in Kerala. But I'm saying that you know, that Rahul Gandhi's visit is going to start from that place. But honestly speaking, of what based on my interaction from our reporters there, from people who have been stationed there and been covering Karnataka for long, you know, the local unit of Karnataka doesn't need Rahul Gandhi to win the election for them. And they're very clear on that, and they know that you know, they can do well without the gaffes, they can do very well without the thing, and they have a very combative unit as far as DK Shivkumar and Siddaramaiah is concerned. The 40% cut charges, which is like, you know, the Congress had made very famous, the 40% government and all, and also the fact that a BJP MLA was recently caught. So the Congress is pretty much confident there, and I think you know, going by the last example, we see that we may not see Rahul Gandhi going to Karnataka and you know, holding rallies that much as many are expecting him to.
But apart from Karnataka, you know, Rahul Gandhi has his job cut out, because you have elections in Rajasthan, you have elections in Madhya Pradesh, you have elections in Chhattisgarh. And Rajasthan is one place which the Gandhi family itself has not been able to sort out. They have not been able to remove the chief minister. Chief minister refused to become the party president. Then they had to fish out a different face. Then they found Mallikarjun Kharge. So I think they have plethora of in your opinion, Brajesh, how come these organizational issues continue to plague Congress? Is it because of the fact that the appeal of the Gandhis have gone down? They do not inspire or a fear of retribution which they would 20 years ago कि अगर चले गए तो खत्म हो जाएंगे.
See, I personally think that what the biggest problem of Gandhi family right now is that they are themselves not aware of the fact that the sheen of the Gandhis has lost it. They have lost it considerably. And this is the reason why, if you look at the way they have handled Rajasthan, it was like bolting your stable after horses have fled. The fact is that, you have a popular chief minister, you have a chief minister whose mastery over ensuring that they get absolute majority, even when you don't have the absolute majority, or to swing tides in his favor, is legendary. Everybody knows it. We know it. So I cannot fathom for a second that Rahul Gandhi would not know it, or the Congress party senior leadership would not know it. And to ask a person who has been unanimously elected, ask a person who has ensured that the party comes back to power, and to ask that person to leave without first gauging his mind, or without presenting all the kind of alternatives to him, only leads to the embarrassment which Congress party felt. I mean, a person like Ashok Gehlot, it was a double-edged, it was a deep cut, because Gehlot is known as a right-hand man of the Gandhis, always on their side, making sure that all the right utterances are made and all. Ashok Gehlot had to rebel to show the mirror to Gandhis that you cannot go beyond a point.
I must confess to the viewers that it's just not the press conference, but the press conference itself has become a story. Press conference is running 45 minutes late. Media persons were informed that the press conference would start at 3 p.m. live. It's now, what's the exact time?
It's 3:37. 3:37.
3:37 as per Vijesh, our political editor. It's 3:37, not 40 minutes. And it's running late by 37 minutes. So, sometimes it is also a signal that perhaps you are not prepared for a press conference. Perhaps you are running down last minute changes, because ultimately when you say that there is going to be a press conference impromptu on an issue which is not letting the parliament run, it means a certain sort of preparation has gone. And the press conference is taking place at AICC. Generally the tradition would have been ये press conference parliament में होती.
Yeah, when the parliament session is on,
yes,
of course. Yes,
the press conference would have been conducted adjacent to Lok Sabha, next to the PAC office, which is Public Accounts Committee office. उस दफ्तर के किनारे press conference होती, but that tradition has not been followed. The press conference goes back to the party office, and for decades I have covered it. 3 p.m. would be BJP's press conference, and 4:15 would have been the Congress press conference, and 5 p.m. would have been the off-the-record briefing by either leader of the opposition or the parliamentary affairs minister. So anyways, those are bygone days, bygone times, old memories. But then I would like to say that the press conference itself is becoming a story. Press conference is late by 40 minutes. The only reason which a lot of people say, that they would require time to leave parliament and go to AICC. But I think in the day where you have YouTube available, various forums available, I think that doesn't cut much ice. Secondly, one will have to see what are the issues which will be taken, who will be with Rahul Gandhi. Of course, Jairam Ramesh is going to be there, but one has to know whether they might deploy other leaders as well. But this is going to be an important press conference for one reason, that Rahul Gandhi will need to entirely defend why he said those things, why he made that comment on China, why did he say that minorities are unsafe, why did he compare RSS with Muslim Brotherhood, why did he say that these civil institutions have been taken over by RSS. So all these, I would say, detailing will have to be put in front of people, which is relatable. And let's cut across the press conference.
तो आज सुबह मैं पार्लियामेंट गया और मैंने स्पीकर से कहा कि मैं पार्लियामेंट में बोलना चाहता हूं, अपनी बात रखना चाहता हूं. सरकार के शायद चार मंत्रियों ने मेरे ऊपर आरोप लगाया है, हाउस में आरोप लगाया है. तो मेरा हक है कि मुझे पार्लियामेंट हाउस में अपनी बात रखनी देनी चाहिए. क्लैरिटी नहीं है, मगर मुझे नहीं लगता है कि मुझे बोलने देंगे। मैं होपफुल हूं कि कल मुझे बोलने दें। आज 1 मिनट के अंदर, मेरे आने के बाद 1 मिनट के अंदर उन्होंने हाउस को अडजर्न कर दिया। होपफुल हूं कि शायद कल मुझे बोलने दें, क्योंकि मैं अपनी बात रखना चाहता हूं, मगर पक्का नहीं मालूम। आइडिया ये है कि जो मैंने भाषण कुछ दिन पहले पार्लियामेंट हाउस में दिया अदानी जी के बारे में, और जो नरेंद्र मोदी जी और अदानी जी का रिश्ता है उसके बारे में मैंने सवाल पूछे, उस भाषण को पार्लियामेंट हाउस में पूरा एक्सपंज कर दिया गया। और उस भाषण में ऐसी कोई चीज नहीं थी जो पब्लिक रिकॉर्ड से मैंने नहीं निकाली। अखबारों से, लोगों की स्टेटमेंट से मैंने पूरा भाषण डेवलप किया था और उसको एक्सपंज कर दिया गया। ये पूरा मामला डिस्ट्रैक्ट करने का मामला है। सरकार और प्रधानमंत्री जो अदानी जी का मुद्दा है उससे डरे हुए हैं, और इसीलिए उन्होंने ये पूरा तमाशा प्रिपेयर किया है। और मुझे लगता है कि वो मुझे पार्लियामेंट हाउस में नहीं बोलने देंगे, क्योंकि जो मेन सवाल है वो अभी भी टेबल पे है। अदानी जी और प्रधानमंत्री का रिश्ता क्या है? जो डिफेंस कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स अदानी जी को दिए जा रहे हैं वो क्यों दिए जा रहे हैं? जो श्रीलंका में, बांग्लादेश में बात हुई है वो क्यों हुई, किसने की? ऑस्ट्रेलिया में जो प्रधानमंत्री जी और स्टेट बैंक के चेयरमैन और अदानी जी के साथ जो मीटिंग हुई वो क्यों हुई, उसमें क्या डिस्कस हुआ? तो ये सब सवाल हैं जो प्रधानमंत्री जिसके जवाब नहीं दे पा रहे हैं, और ये मेन बात है। मैं एमपी हूं तो मेरी पहली रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी पार्लियामेंट में जवाब देने की है, और मैं चाहता हूं कि पार्लियामेंट में जवाब देने के बाद मैं आपके साथ डिटेल में डिस्कशन करूं। मगर उससे पहले मैं डिटेल में आपके साथ नहीं जाना चाहता हूं, क्योंकि वो एज एन एमपी वो हमारा प्लेटफॉर्म है। आई विल से इट इन इंग्लिश। I went to Parliament this morning with the idea of putting what I have said or what I feel on the floor of the House. 4 ministers have raised allegations against me in Parliament House. It is my right to be allowed to speak on the floor of the House. I requested the Speaker today. I went to his chambers and I requested him, and I said, look, I would very much like to speak. I told him that people from the BJP have made allegations against me, and as a member of parliament, it is my right to speak. He was non-committal. In his way, he smiled. But I'm hopeful that I will be allowed to speak tomorrow. What is going on here? This story started the day I gave my speech in Parliament about Mr. Adani. And I asked some fundamental questions to the Prime Minister about his relationship with the businessman, about how Mr. Adani has been given pretty much the entire India-Israel defense relationship, how he's been given the Bombay airport, other airports, how rules have been changed to allow him to be given these things, what happened in Australia between the Prime Minister, Mr. Adani, and the Chairman of the State Bank, and one of the Chief Ministers of one of the states in Australia. That's a picture that is visible to everybody. Why is the Prime Minister of India sitting with the State Bank Chairman and Mr. Adani and an Australian leader? What is he discussing, and why after that discussion is almost $1 billion pledged by the State Bank to Mr. Adani? What was said in Sri Lanka? Why Mr. Rajapaksa, a person has made a statement saying Mr. Rajapaksa told him that Mr. Adani was given the contract and it was basically Mr. Modi who told him. the same in Bangladesh. So these are relevant questions. And the whole idea is that these questions must not be on the table. And that is why this whole exercise of 4 or 5 ministers, the Prime Minister giving a speech to distract from this fundamental question, which is what is the relationship between the Prime Minister of India and Mr. Adani and his companies, and more importantly, whose money is in these shell companies? Who is this unknown person whose money is in these shell companies? What is his relationship with Mr. Adani? These are the questions. I would like to go into the details with you. Unfortunately, I'm a member of Parliament and I'm hopeful that I will be allowed to speak in Parliament. So I would like to first place my statement on the floor of the House, and then after that I'll be happy to have whatever discussion you want with me.
Unfortunately, I'm a member of Parliament. You can make a joke saying that unfortunately for you, but unfortunately for एक मिनट एक मिनट please.
See, I want to make it clear. Unfortunately for you, I'm a member of Parliament, and as the allegation has been made in Parliament by 4 ministers, it is my right to have the opportunity. It's my democratic right. So if Indian democracy was functioning, I would be able to say my piece in Parliament. So,
please,
let me speak.
Please, let him finish.
So actually what you are seeing is a test of Indian democracy. After 4 leaders of the BJP have made an allegation about a member of Parliament, is that member of Parliament going to be given the same space that those 4 ministers have been given, or is he going to be told to shut up? That's what the real question in front of this country is right now. So,
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.